Let's talk to Jason, a commentary writer for the Washington Examiner. All right, you're introduced. Go.
Great. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
You're welcome. Hey, do you have any idea how much it costs the taxpayers to build that stadium in Glendale?
Yeah, they spent $300 million on that stadium in Glendale, which is shocking because even when you look at the most optimistic estimates of how much the Super Bowl in '08 brought to Arizona, it was only about $200 million. So, I mean, compare those numbers. They're clearly not getting the return that they, were expecting, even by the optimistic standards.
A stadium is amortized over many years. $200 million one year, another $200 million. That's 4 in 2 games. Not bad.
Well, yeah, but I think still those estimates were really optimistic. When I talked to a couple sports economists about how they get those estimates, and they're not accounting for business that would have happened anyway in the area, and pretty much they just add up. This many people came into Phoenix for the Super Bowl. We all assume that they came from out of town and they didn't already live here, and we all assume that they spent $1 bajillion on this much food and this much in their hotels, etc. They're very optimistic estimates.
Well, is it good for a city? I mean, hosting a Super Bowl, I would assume it benefits the economy, right?
I think if I had to guess, I would say it benefits the economy a little bit, but by not nearly as much as.
That's what Frenchie said. He said it's not nearly as much as you might think. Why is that?
Yeah, so I mean, look at the cities that they're hosting the Super Bowls in. It's Miami, it's Dallas, it's Phoenix. These economies are already really
huge.
big.
Yeah.
When you take Phoenix for the Super Bowl to even boost the economy by 1%, it would have to bring in $2 billion. And like I said, even the most optimistic estimates said it only brought in a couple $100 million last time.
Wow. You know what though? I think the intangible is maybe the prestige of having that game is so big for. To host those events in Olympics, this or that.
I think you're absolutely right. Prestige has to be a lot of it because when a lot of people think New Orleans, maybe they think Mardi Gras, but then they think, hey, all those Super Bowls. Yep. And now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 in Phoenix, and people start thinking internationally. Phoenix, that's where they play the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. The studies have seen that there's not much tourism benefit as a result of that, but I certainly think there's a case to be made for the happiness, I guess, of the average citizen. They like to see that, the NFL thinks we're special enough to host the Super Bowl. I'm from Detroit, so when the Super Bowl was there in '05 or '06, whenever it was, I thought it was exciting. I thought, great, you're coming to Detroit. They're going to see how great it is, and it'll be awesome.
How many people watched the game?
So there's 112 million watched it last year, and that was a record for more people watching any show in U.S. history. More people watching one thing on one channel at any one time. So that was amazing because, for a long time, the series finale of MASH had held that record. And finally, the Super Bowl came in and knocked that one off.
Are we getting any traction internationally these days on viewership? Do we know that?
I'm not sure. I think, whenever you hear it's being broadcast to 180 countries or 200 countries or however many that is, I think that's mostly the Armed Services Network bringing up the troops wherever they are.
God, there are a lot of places, aren't they?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much they bring in this year. Last year ended up being a dud with the Seahawks blowing out the Broncos.
Yeah,
but still broke all those records.
And is a commercial really $4.5 million for a 30-second commercial?
Yeah, just for 30 seconds, $4.5 million, and that does scale up equally if you want a minute. It's exactly $9 million too. So I think that's the record high that NBC is charging this year. They did manage to sell all their slots, I believe, without having to bring down that price.
And
so
they're
every
waiting.
Commercial you see,
the what?
Sorry, yeah, every commercial you see is going to cost $4.5 million just for 30 seconds.
Listen, these companies that spend the dough, they're doing something right. So I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's beyond belief. $4.5 million. Now, of course, the smartest one of all of them is GoDaddy with that puppy milk commercial. It's been shown everywhere, and of course, they just so happen to have a backup. And I don't mean it sarcastically. Smart and good for them. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's good for them because now everyone's watching that commercial that they pulled, and now everyone also is going to see the one that they didn't pull.
Exactly.
So it's kind of double the publicity almost.
2 for the price of one.
Smart case for your money.
Do you have any idea how much how much a Super Bowl ring costs?
A ring.
I'm just curious. I don't know. It just popped into my head.
That changes every year, I think. Depending on
depends on what the team
how
is
many
to spend.
diamonds they
I don't know. 25 grand, 100 grand. I mean, how much are the rings?
35,
No
40
idea.
grand.
35, 40 grand. Okay.
And they get to pick out and select. They get part of the process. Did Katy Perry
yeah.
have to buy a ticket to get in, or did she get in for free?
Guys, can I tell you my favorite one was after 9/11? That one with the Patriots and whoever they played. I'm not a big U2 fan. They did When the Streets Have No Name, and they've got those 2 projector screens like the Twin Towers, and they run everybody's name up and down. That was pretty heavy and good.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that was my favorite one too.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've enjoyed a Super Bowl halftime show since the Who did that. That was 5 years ago.
Well, come on. How about Nipgate? You had to like that. Come on. A little Jackson Nip. Come on, baby.
Jeez.
Come on. All right, buddy. Thanks for coming on.